65 years. Don't they go by in a blink? You're dead.
Yes?
You're not dead, you're just a kid in a suit.
The suit came with the body I took.
You want me to be your guide?
I wish to see the world.
Mr. Parrish, will the gentleman be staying for dinner, sir?
Yes.
If I say who you are, I don't think anyone will stay for dinner.
Does your friend have a name?
I'm sorry, this is Joe
Incidentally, Joe what?
Black.
Have we met?
He's from out of town.
Let me ask your opinion. Do I blend in?
This is crazy.
You're married, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Gay.
What is that?
Peanut butter, sir.
I thoroughly enjoy this peanut butter.
This is Joe Black. He'll be joining us this morning.
Our sole order of business today is an acceptance of John Bonacue's generous offer.
A little more of these delicious cookies. And a cup of tea with milk, please.
Is there anything else, Mr. Black?
You like him, don't you?
Yeah, I guess you.
Why, yes.
In this world, nothing is certain but death and taxes.
Death and taxes.
Yes.
What an odd pairing.
Who is Joe Black? He sleeps at Bill's house. He never leaves his side.
I have this weak feeling in my knees.
You walk into my life, give me the worst news a guy can get. You know, you're spooning with my daughter.
I love him.
I don't care if you love him.
Easy, Bill. You give yourself a heart attack and ruin my vacation.
Universal Pictures presents
I'm in love with a man, but I don't know who he is.
Brad Pitt,
What I know is what I want, and what I want is Susan.
You're violating the laws of the universe.
Anthony Hopkins,
You're at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong woman.
Are you threatening me?
Yeah, I certainly hope so.
and Claire Forlani
I want to be with you, Joe.
in a Martin Brest film.
The time has come to tell you who I am.
Joe, I'm afraid. What's going on, Joe? I feel like we're lifting off.
Hello, my name is Devin Martinez, and I will be presenting on the movie Meet Joe Black. Meet Joe Black is the story of Bill Parrish, who is portrayed by Anthony Hopkins, a 64-year-old multimillionaire CEO who has everything that he could ever need. He has 2 daughters whom which he loves very much, and he is on the brink of his 65th birthday. He is soon visited by Death himself, who has taken the human form from a body that had recently been deceased. He goes by the name Joe Black, who is portrayed by Brad Pitt, and he makes a deal to Bill that he will give Bill more time to live if he agrees to be his tour guide of the living world. Joe then follows Bill around his daily life and indulges in the smaller things that life has to offer and gains a sense of what it is like to truly be alive. Joe soon falls in love with Bill's daughter Susan, and she begins to fall in love with him back, although she does not know that he is Death. Joe confronts Bill and tells him that when he takes Bill, he will also take Susan for his own, meaning that he would have to kill her, and Bill does not allow this to happen because he explains to Joe that being selfish that way is not what it means to truly be in love. At Bill's 65th birthday extravaganza, Joe reveals himself to Susan, and Susan now knows who Joe is and why he has shown up. She understands that he has shown up to take her father and that it's his time to die. This movie ends happily by Death taking Bill and giving Susan the body of the one that he had taken, Joe Black. So although in class we discuss death and dying, we also touched on what it means to be alive. So questions come up, what does it mean to be alive? Do we try to earn the most money, build a big house? Should we be inspired to make our mark in the world, inspired to change the world? Do we just reproduce offspring with a mate that we encounter and then settle for? Or do we go on an adventure to find the love of our life and be filled with so much passion that we cannot think straight? I think that Bill Parrish, a man who has everything that he could ever want, describes what he has learned, what it means to be alive, in this film clip.
I know it's a cornball thing, but love is passion, obsession, someone you can't live without. I say, fall head over heels, find someone you can love like crazy and who'll love you the same way back. How do you find him? Well, you forget your head and you listen to your heart. I'm not hearing any heart. Because the truth is, honey, there's no sense living your life without this. To make the journey and not fall deeply in love, well, you haven't lived a life at all. But you have to try, because if you haven't tried, you haven't lived.
The next topic that this film brings up is euthanasia and assisted suicide. Brad Pitt's character, Joe Black, meets an elderly woman who can see that Joe is some type of spirit that represents death. In our class readings, such as Newland's book How We Die, and in our class discussions, we have talked about euthanasia and whether it should be seen as a merciful act or as an act of trying to play God by controlling the nature of one's illness and time and place of death. This topic is highly controversial in today's society, and people feel very strongly about this life and death issue. In this next film clip, we can see that some people may be in so much pain that their only sweet release can be death, and that living would only cause them more pain and suffering.
And what you is then?
I from that next place.
You waiting here to take us? Like you's the bus driver today?
No, man, I on holiday.
Some spot you pick. Oh. Pain, bad.
I don't have nothing to do with these things, you know.
Make it go away.
Doctor lady, make it die.
Not this pain. This pain go through and through me. Make it go away.
I can't, sister.
You can, mister. Take me to that next place.
It's not your time now.
Make it time.
You can't prove it the way things got to be.
Please.
So the final topic, relationship from class and readings to this film, I wanted to talk about the levels of grief. So in the beginning of the film, Bill expresses denial. He asks Death if it's a dream, that Death is appearing in front of him, and he actually constantly avoids answering the question that he's been asking himself for years: am I going to die? Later on in the film, he begins to exhibit stages of bargaining. He says to Death, he asks Death to not interfere with his family life, but his own, and he will happily go with Death. Then he gets angry at Death because he is slowly ruining his life and his business, as Death then tries to take his daughter away from him, even though he made a deal with Bill to not interfere with his family. And lastly, we see Bill willingly walk off with Death in the end scene of the film, and this is seen as his acceptance stage of grieving.
It's hard to let go